Yes, now I'm going to add the water. I'm using a little bit of better than bouillon. Not a lot because it's, even though this is considered made with, this is 50% less sodium, it still has a lot of salt. So we don't want to get too salty. I'm adding some water. I'm probably going to add a little more water. Doesn't have to be perfect. I probably added about 3 to 4 cups of water. You don't have to use all the stock, but you're going to want to have a pretty good chicken stock that we're going to thicken up with milk and flour and cornstarch and season it properly afterwards. But it's better not to get it too salty in the beginning. Keep it. You can always add more salt. You can't take the salt out. Now I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna cook this chicken. This chicken came out of the freezer frozen. So, and these are chicken tenderloins, so they're a little bit smaller. But since they're frozen, I'm gonna go 15 minutes. If they would have been thawed out, I would have gone 10 minutes. So, whatever kind of Instant Pot you have, with mine, I'm gonna hit the pressure cook, and I'm gonna go up to 10 and cook it on high, and then it should be done. So as you see, I'm using a mixture of fresh vegetables, onions and celery, with frozen vegetables, which is carrots, sweet corn, peas, and green beans. It's fine to mix them. Use all frozen, all fresh. It really doesn't matter. I wouldn't use canned. I just find that frozen and fresh works best. And yeah, as I said, you can mix it. This is something I learned from somebody on the internet. Basically, wrap your celery up tightly in aluminum foil, pretty airtight, and it'll stay crisp much longer, and you won't be thrashing it next week when I need to use celery again. It won't be all limp and throw away. It'll be crisp still, crisp celery. Okay, now we're going to saute the raw vegetables a little bit before we add them. Going to heat up the pan. You can use either butter or a little oil of your choice. I'm using olive oil. We pretty much cook only with grapeseed oil for high heat, olive oil, a little avocado oil, and butter around. And if you heard my dog barking in the background, my son is watching TV and there was a commercial with a dog in it. He's a dog on television. She gets all excited about other dogs. She knows the difference between the 4-legged animals and us 2-legged ones. So, here we go. We'll add a little bit of seasoning to this. I'm going to use this blend of salt, pepper, and garlic. I like this one. Kinder's, got this at Costco. That sauce. And we'll just go lightly. So we can always add more seasoning in after we taste it. It's all together. We can take seasoning out. So try not to like to season my food, but not over season too early. Nothing worse than getting something that's way too salty or too strong with some particular flavor. I don't know if you can get enough garlic for me. But now we're starting to make the roux to make the sauce. Use a little bit of butter and add a little bit more olive oil as well. I'm going to put in a dash of my blend here again. My Kinder salt, pepper, garlic. And then I'm going to put a little flour in there. You have some cornstarch as well with it. Because the flour takes out that some. There I go with the messy chef again. My wife loves that I cook. She just doesn't think I quite clean the kitchen to her standards. So I think I'll be doing a show on how to finish cleaning the kitchen to her standards. just added in some stock, a little bit of chicken stock. And I'm up with the new milk. It's going to be stubborn on me. Grab a knife. This is whole milk. You can use 2%. I reckon it'll be fine with 2%. Or it's great with heavy cream or half and half. But whole milk is a good middle of the ground compromise. We like it that way. I'm going to add a little bit of white pepper to it. I just like that little extra kick that white pepper gives. I sometimes add a little touch of nutmeg, but I usually have whole nutmeg. I also had some pre-ground nutmeg. Prefer the non-pre-ground, but ran out not long ago and lasted me forever. And it's one of those things that you forget to get at the store. So I have to get some more. But a little touch of nutmeg in it adds a little nice undertone of flavor. It doesn't run it without it. It just adds a subtle little taste that most people can't even recognize is there. It's kind of nice. Just put a little more in this there. Set. And I'm going to have to probably get ready for making my cornstarch slurry as well. For the cornstarch slurry, which we'll get low on that as well, this would have to be perfect. I'm probably going to go with 2 big heaping tablespoons. This is not an official tablespoon, but it's pretty darn close. Not like baking. It's not a perfect science. It has to be in the ballpark. I always add a little more or take a little away. Add about 2 tablespoons of cold milk. So make the slurry. It's not lumpy. And stir it all up until it's incorporated and fairly smooth. Nobody likes lumps in their sauce. Let's try to keep it smooth. And then let's add the slurry of cornstarch. Here, stir that in. I'm going to need a little more milk too, because it's going to be a little more soft for this pot pie. My wife does not like it if it's not saucy. And there goes the messy chef again. Here we go, opening the Instapot. The pin is dropped down, so we're safe. And the chicken is done. Have to now pull it out with some tongs and let it cool. And I have some tongs here, but I'm going to need to get a platter. There. Anyway, I'm using these nitrate gloves that got cotton liners to keep my hands from burning. And shout out to Malcolm Reed with Barbecue Right, I believe is his channel name. Learned that from him. A little trick. Wait for the chicken to completely cool down, and I can get it shredded while it's still hot. Of course, I could use 2 forks, but I find that a little awkward. I find it a lot easier here to work with my fingers, and with the chicken being blazing hot, I can just shred it up here, and all it feels is just slightly warm between my fingers. And my good friend Heidi here is smelling chicken. He loves chicken. Okay, so now we're going to start putting this together. So we got the chicken, we got the frozen vegetables that I'm using, got the sauteed vegetables. Over on the stove, we have our white sauce that we made. You can add some cheese to this as well to make it a little richer. I didn't do that today. This is going to be traditional chicken pot pie with no cheese in it. So I'm going to start by, no matter what order, Order doesn't matter here. Now I'm going to put the sauteed vegetables in. And then I'm just going to kind of incorporate everything here now. I may not need all of them. Now, sometimes I do make pie crust from scratch. I think I do it okay. I won't say great, and it's pretty good. But sometimes I just kind of do this like a semi-homemade. Everything's homemade in here pretty much, as you know, brought together. You can buy pie crust at the grocery store, you know, the frozen kind. Or we really like it with crescent rolls on the top. So I'm going to go the easy way with crescent rolls. They taste good and it works out pretty darn well. So we're going to open the can, pop it, and roll it out and put it on top. Now, sometimes getting it started, I left the can out.
You're out of the picture.
I left the can out for a while, and that was a mistake because they get a little bit soft and gooey where I should have left them in the refrigerator. So be bad there, but I'm gonna get it started. There we go.
It's very doughy. Spoon out of the way. This doesn't have to be really pretty. It's going to pop up and bake. Okay, now we're getting ready to put it in the oven. We can preheat the oven to 375. I'm just cooking on regular bake. I'm not doing it convection today. So we'll be cooking this for about anywhere. It just needs to be bubbly with the crust getting brown. I'd say 45 minutes to 55 minutes. So we'll have to play that by ear, but we're ready to go. And Yes.
okay, it's time for it to come out. It's been 45 minutes. I did cover it with aluminum foil because it was brown a little bit too fast. It needed a little bit more time to cook. So that's something you can do if you don't want the crust to get too brown or black, and you still want and good and bubbly inside there. And then we're just going to put it over here, let it cool about 5 minutes before we cut into it. Close the oven. And we'll serve it up shortly. Okay, now to try it. This is pie. Crust, a little side salad. Let's just try it with a little. Let's get a little crust with it. That always makes it taste better.
It tastes good, huh?
Very good.